Namaste and welcome to class. And thank you so much for sitting with me with your undivided attention. I'm back in Colombia enjoying my tropical weather again. And in this class, I want to tell you a very important class, and it's how to manage the shadows and how the shadows are in very intimate connection with a fiber of the feminine, because it's the feminine who transmute. And when we are clear how we are transmuting, then we are able to work that shadow work without confusing or without repeating, having that recursive pattern coming back over and over. If that is the case for you, you may be missing one of these steps. So let's start. What is the first step? The first step is to recognize any denial. Is to have the boldness and the courage to see it. You say, no, I'm not avoiding anymore. If you see, for example, you say, oh, I always change the subject or something, feel uncomfortable when people start to talk about shame or about rejection or about politics, even politics. Why do I change the topic? Why do I avoid certain things that are going to mirror me? So this is the first thing, is the willingness and the intention that, no, I am going to recognize my denials, that I am not going to go around. The second thing is to see that that shadow is not an evil thing. It's some kind of breath that have not been completed. It's some kind of trauma. It's some kind of forgetfulness. It's some kind of asymmetry in your mandala. And that is trying to talk to you by mirroring to you, and it wants a certain to come back to the geometry of that restoration. Then is seeing that that is your creation, that nobody, you are denying and not involving anybody in this shadow. Because if you do, then you are not really honest in wanting to transmute. So it's to say, I myself create that for certain opportunity, and we'll get there. But it's that admitting that is your creation. It's very hard, that one. People, in my years of work with people, you don't want to admit that. They always want to jump out and blame somebody, blame mommy, blame the weather, blame your menopause, blame this, blame that, instead of just containing yourself and say, I had created this opportunity, I have denied, I didn't want to work on it, I didn't want to wrestle with that particular energy. So that admitting is super important. Number 3 is admitting without judgment. It means that you are able to observe the shadow without no labeling, no good, no bad. You need that neutrality of mind. It is what it is. If I am jealous, I am jealous now. I'm not forever jealous, but right now I am feeling it. I am sad, so, or whatever is that is arising. So it's no judgment, neutrality, zero reaction on what you see. This is very important, because if you judge what you see, it retreat back into the shadows and you are not able to transmute it. Number 4 is forgiveness. And the forgiveness here have a certain flavor, because is sometimes we don't accept that we have chosen certain harsh lessons, either in health or in relationships or in a state of finances. We don't realize that we have signed up for it, and that we need to forgive ourselves for choosing something that perhaps is not at the level that we deserve or that we see that we are entitled to it. So it's a matter of seeing that whatever I had imposed on myself, I accept it. It's a place where the anger or the fear or whatever emotion or thought, it is part of your universe and is in there to give you the opportunity to teach you how to transmute. So forgiveness is a very important part. Number 5 is a very important one. That is about witnessing without the attachment. Because sometimes we see the shadow, and what we do is that we attach our identity to the shadow, and we define ourselves and say, oh, I am angry, I am in denial, this is my style, this is me. So in that way, you need to be absolutely clear that the shadow is part of that subconscious material, ready to be transmuted, ready to be in the light, and that is not you. You are not the shadow. And in here is so many people in the shadow work fails because you feel shame that, oh, I have chosen that, or I should not share it with anybody, and you create a kind of a false privacy and a false kind of segregation from others because you don't want to be seen. If you don't want to be seen, is you're not accepting, you're not neutral, you're not really admitting, and you are identifying. You're saying, oh, this is me, this is me. The number 6, I'll say, recognize clearly, even name the pattern. So it's okay, this is the pattern of abandonment. This is the pattern of rejection. This is the pattern of poverty. Just be clear with what is the quality of the shadow you are battling. So you are not deluded and, oh, what is it exactly in this shadow work that I am doing, right? You say, no, this is, and by now, I hope that you have very clear what make you trigger. And if you don't know what it make you trigger, there is a lesson there in another week that I put about what triggers you and why. So in that part, you're naming the pattern is like a facing or putting a face on the enemy, right? I don't want to say enemy, but on what is it that you are working. Now here comes the part that is a little bit less of contemplation and inquiry, and it's when you actually start to act on it. And the first act is breath. If we understand what is the shadow, which is just the collapsing energy that is not being in cohesiveness with something, it's a life force. That's why it's related to the priestess. It's related to the breathline of the feminine, because it is a geometric pulse, light that it pulses and it makes life progress. Shadows will be there, not because you're bad, but because the material of the subconscious. Some shadows are coming from the actual denial and fragmentation, and that is thick. And, it creates a world actually of fear, of anxiety, of distortion, of agitation. And then there is the darkness or the shadow of the womb, the actual feminine womb, where it's the beginning of everything. It is the stillness. It's related to a stillness rather than transmutation. So in that stillness, in that gestation, it always will come something from creation, from the collective, from your own breath lines, from your own bloodlines, that it will say, please transmute me. It selects you. It wants you to help the continuation of awareness through that transmutation. So the breath is so important, because as a pranantologist, I always say, if it's not the breath there, things won't be restored. And it's part of the transmutation, which is very different than healing, because healing is a different kind of transmutation. It works more at the cellular cohesiveness. It works with energy. Here it works with the very transmutation. So healers heals, put cohesiveness in the energy and the cells, and it transmits the energy, serve as a vessel. Here is the very transmutation of life, of that shadow that is part of the subconscious, part of the feminine. So there are certain breaths. If you don't know the breath, I have that free class for you in my website about the restoration of the ego. And the type of breath that you need to use in order to have that protocol, part of the protocol of how to work with the shadows. Then with the breath, naturally things start to go into unity, go into cohesiveness. Naturally the spirals, it comes, but you still need to keep attentive. It may happen 2 or 3 weeks after, but there is part of the integration of your transmutation is to know what is the gift of that. For example, if you have the opportunity to be a midwife, you know, in the birth or in the death of somebody, and that naturally stimulate some kind of priesthood inside of you, the midwife. And if there's any shadow attached to it, you're going to heal through that gift that is being received, or the opportunity, the event that is being there. And then you need to think positive. So what is the gift? What the struggle on the inside is a gift. The boundary is a gift. The change of perspective is a gift. So this shadow always have to bring a gift. If not, then you are chewing your own pain, and you're, you know, loving it and make it pain into your sweet ice cream and go there often. This is just martyrdom. That is not a real and sincere transmutation of your shadow work. So recognize your gift, as simple as I said, or as I said, we say maybe some kind of a strength, maybe some kind of boundary, maybe some kind of insight. Answer. You say, what was hidden behind anger? So maybe behind anger was some kind of self-sovereignty, some kind of self-respect. What it was behind shame? You say, maybe it was about humility, and so on. Learn the equation of the feedback of life and your feedback of life. So once that is very integrated, it's very, very important, because if you integrate the gift, if you rename it, if you reshape it, then you can go into the 9th step, I think is the anchoring the new breath line. It means do something that declare, speak, declare the shift, declare the cohesiveness, admit that you have done the work, admit that it's done, admit that, okay, I don't need to chew it again. I have reviewed it. Maybe I have to view it the 108 phases of that simple topic. But at this time, we don't have time for that. That's the point. We are in the middle of the blender, and we need to be very agile in the transmutation. If not them, we are just sinking into the identification and the collective recurrence of repeating the same story. So just anchor your work, recognize it, value it, and then with your own magic, if you are in your priestess dress, in your priestess role, do a ritual, do a ceremony that is intimate. You don't need to involve your husband and your son and the father that was this, and oh, can you help me? No, ritual in the name of a release seals, the action seals your work. Any work need to be some kind of action, and that kind of action, it could be a very simple ritualistic thing like washing your hands. Is okay, that's it, that's done, or a more involved ritual that gives you the strength and the physical sweat to anchor and to announce to the body that this is done. And finally, rest, meditate. You have to enter into a different kind of shadow, and it's the shadow of the womb. It's the stillness where you are going into the shadow. You have that strength, you have that clarity, you have that ability, because it's part of the feminine breath line. And just rest, just take a breath, just repose. Teach yourself to be still. That's what silence retreats are about. It's just transmute and then repose, because the womb, the other positive darkness, if I can put it that way, is the one that is going to rebirth you. You do the work, and you need to learn to rest. That period of doing nothing, pursue nothing, no intentions, nothing, is the complete surrender and trust that you are going to fall in the right place with the right circumstances, with the right vibration, that your transmutation have a positive outcome, always do. So take note of the different steps and see in which one you are weak, or in which one you are preferring, or in which one you are delaying. Because if you have a very good clarity every time you enter into a course or a retreat or a journey, the shadow work is accompanying you, not because you are in the dark, but because the feminine force, the subconscious force, at the level of the person, at the level of your ancestors, at the level of your will, at the level of your heart and your devotion, and any of the level of the 7 chakras, the shadow is there. We are still in human development. And once you see it that, okay, I can go through it and balance that with a physical joy and positive outcome, and a good congratulation that you're always successful in your shadow work if you follow the right steps with clarity, with patience, with compassion. I thank you very much for sitting with me, and I'll see you in our next class. Namaste.